Hey guys, we're back. We're back with the control room diorama, and I wanted to do a bit of a deconstruction and tell you guys how I made it and go through some of the little tips and tricks that I learned along the way. This is the where did you dig up that old fossil scene, and Luke is trying to convince Han that Ben's a great man, even though he only met him like a couple hours ago. Sadly, I'll have to see if we can actually get it on here. What's the button for that thing? Oh, there it is. Whoops. You can see my battery for my computer monitor is dead, so that doesn't work as part of the diorama for now. I'll have to get some new batteries for that thing. So let's have a little breakdown and get these guys out of the way. One of the interesting scenes that I noticed, I never noticed it before ever until I built this diorama, but in Star Wars, when the rebel officer comes up to Vader and he says, we counted 30 ships, but they're so small they're avoiding our turbo lasers, and he's walking with Vader. At the end of the scene, Vader actually walks into the control room, and I never noticed it until I got so heavy in the detail work of trying to build something like that I actually noticed that Vader actually leaves and goes into the Death Star control room in that scene. So we got our guys up out of the way here so we can do a little bit of a breakdown, a little talk on. The whole thing is obviously made out of foam board. I got the plans from Nub Universe. I will link down below the actual plans, but it's a 3/8 inch foam board, and just basically these Photoshop decals, I guess you would call them. This thing, I built it a long time ago, and it looked really, really good when I first built it, but as you can see, the humidity in my house in this summer has kind of warped it a little bit, and it doesn't look quite as fresh as it did when I originally built it, but whatever. It's a silly little cardboard diorama, so it doesn't have to be super movie accurate, but I made it a little modular so that for ease of storability. It took me about 15 hours or so to build this thing completely. So the first thing is obviously the console itself. It's also just doesn't attach to it. It just has its own thing. Now, Nub on his website, he built 7 individual consoles, and I just did not feel like doing it. But movie accuracy wise, there are 7 different ones. As you can see, when you count mine, I have 6. And the reason for that is you come around the back side, and mine is just a bucket. It's a bucket right here that I bought at a hardware store for about $2. If you go this route, make sure you get the cheapest bucket that they make, just a crappy wash bucket. And the reason you want the cheap one is because it'll be the thinnest plastic and the easiest to cut. So I decided to go that way and just make the console panels and just stick them in a bucket. But the problem was it wasn't, I couldn't get 7 of them in there because I had to keep the scale relative to the figure, so I had to either A, chop it down to about right here and have 7 different consoles, or B, have it to scale with the figures and for the rest of the diorama, and so I just went with that route. Some of the detail work here, that's just one of the little scope things, but it's just a crazy straw that I glued in there. That's just a piece of poster board that I made for the hood there, and that little thing was just a plastic washer that I found in my garage, and then I just put some acrylic paint and dabbled it up. Well, the back side is where the movie magic happens. As you can see here, I built a little bridge underneath our bucket, and that's just foam board. This is how I did the LCD screen, the computer screen, and it's just a little cheap little $6 photo frame that I got at the dollar store. But unfortunately right now the battery is dead, so I can't even show it to you anymore, so you'll have to refer to the old video if you want to see it. And then our lights is just this dollar fiber optic nightlight that I bought. Then I drilled some holes through it, and then it came out blinkety blinky like that. So that's it for the console. The chairs are a homemade thing. I couldn't find any chairs that were the right size or that looked right, so basically it's just some hobby craft sticks, and the bucket portion is off bottom of a soda bottle. You can see the bucket right there, sort of. And that's what that's made out of. And then the head part is a piece of craft foam, which is over how this kind of craft foam. Nothing too spectacular, but those are how we made the chair. The guns are actual Star Wars figure pieces. Now this vent tube, this is a kind of an interesting piece because this is kind of Star Wars handy, because this vent tube that's in the control room, you also can see the same vent tube in the scene where Obi-Wan's shutting down the tractor beam. There's 2 or 3 of these in the background there, and I'm pretty sure I've seen them in other places inside the Death Star as well. So it's one of those things, if you make one, keep it, because it can be useful for other Death Star style dioramas. Now it's just made out of like a mailing tube, like a postal mailing tube, and then the bits and pieces are just craft foam painted up with acrylic paint. The top is an orange juice container that came off some orange juice. This one's a little bit different brand than that one. As you can see, the pattern's a little different, but same principle. Oh, we lost a stormtrooper. Here we have these buckets, and I cannot stand these buckets. These things are the bane of my existence. They are made from just, I think, lotion bottles that I got at a hotel, and the bands are made out of like a sticky craft foam, and they just did not stick. They kept peeling up, and it was just making a big mess. The top is made out of another piece of craft foam, and I spent way more time on these pieces of crap than I should have. They don't even look all that good, but I went to a craft store, and I swear to you, I found barrels just like this, pre-made, for like $2, and I was absolutely furious that I went through all the trouble of making those. One of these are also like the tube thing. These can also be used elsewhere for other Star Wars dioramas, because there are barrels like this that are yellow on the Millennium Falcon. So if I wanted to build a Millennium Falcon kind of diorama, I just paint those guys yellow and it's good to go. Let's get our Stormies out of the way here, and we'll talk about the hallway. Yeah, we'll paint it down here. And the hallway is really, really cool because it really gives the illusion of depth. It looks like it actually goes on for a while, and it's got a really cool blue glow to it that I think is just neat. But we'll come around here and I'll show you what actually happens. We just have our lights, and it's just a box, and it's a box like so. And we'll bring it over here into the light, and you can see it's just the standard same wallpaper that I've been using for the diorama, except I've tinted this one blue to give it that blue hue and to match this photo, which I printed out, and that's from New Hope. And if you can actually see, Obi-Wan's right there just hanging out in the distance, but the way it looks, the perspective wise, it really makes the hallway kind of come to life once you get it lit up like so. But it's all movie magic. See, that's what it looks like. But it's all movie magic. This was just the little box that I should have glued that together for all one piece, but because this can be used in the tractor beam scene, I'm not. And here's the closet. Now, the closet door was made out of a Pringles can, and as you can see here, look, more movie magic. See, it's the silver lining of a delicious potato snack. And then inside, it's another Pringles can, just on that side there, and then the pipes are just straws, and you can see it's a bendy straw back in the background, those silver ones. And this is just some speaker wire that I had laying around to make tubing out of it, and it was just this big construction and a big hot glue mess that I had going on, and that's how the closet looks like, and that's that. And as you can see now, our diorama is not looking so hot anymore. And then the Millennium Falcon, that is literally just a photo that I printed off of the interwebs, and just kind of put it in there, and I knew it was thin enough that light could shine through it. So that's it. That's the breakdown. There it is. our deconstructed Death Star console and all our dead troopers. I'll see you later, guys. Bye.